Well, good morning, Saints. It's time for Good News at 9. We have been walking with Matthew through the first part of his gospel about the advent of Messiah. How was it that Matthew knew this so well? How is it that he could state this as a fact that this is how Jesus the Messiah was born? Well, two things. One, he was Jewish, so he had grown up with the scriptures. Secondly, and maybe more importantly, he had lived with the Word himself. He had lived with the Word made flesh, Jesus Christ. And as he lived with Jesus and walked with him for those years as a disciple, he had heard Jesus affirm the scriptures again and again. It was at the end of Luke, when Jesus was on the road to Emmaus with the two disciples, that Jesus talked to them about himself in relation to the scriptures. And then later in that same chapter in Luke, we find Jesus with his disciples, and he tells them yet again, don't you know that the prophets talked about me, beginning with Moses and the prophets and the Psalms. Jesus opened up the scriptures to them, and in each of those passages pointed to himself in those scriptures. And so Jesus was able to say to them, look, the Old Testament, which they call the scriptures, clearly pointed to me. And he helped to open up those scriptures to them so that they could see what he was talking about. Luke says that he opened their minds to understand the scriptures. So Jesus affirmed the Old Testament passages or prophecies about him. So why was Matthew so confident? Because he knew Jesus personally. He had lived and walked with him, and then he met with the resurrected Jesus. So Matthew had every confidence that Jesus was telling them the truth, and all Matthew was doing was simply telling what Jesus had told them. So we can believe it. So let's do that. Let's put our faith and trust in Christ and in his word. You know what I say? Get her done.